on ticketfm.com.
Hello. What's up, everybody? Cristiano Simonetta with you. Stars head coach Rocky Russo alongside. Welcome to Outside the Box on 93.7 The Ticket. Tuesday, 8:01 p.m. local time. Rocky, you just said before we got going here, it's been a while since we've been in the studio. We were at Buzzard Billy's a couple of weeks ago, took the week off last week, and finally back. And you look at the calendar, and it's March 15th. We're talking about playoff hockey, perhaps in a couple of weeks with the Stars possibly clinching.
Yeah, it's good to be back in the studio, although I loved being on location at Buzzard Billy's. That was such a cool experience, and I know that talking to DP, we're going to try to do more of that as we move forward here. The weather gets a little nicer. I'm wearing a pair of shorts today, feeling the spring weather coming. Fingers crossed that it continues this way and we don't get another one of those fall springs like we had a couple weeks ago.
And we lost an hour. We sprung ahead. How are you feeling? Are you all recouped and recovered from that?
No, I'm drinking coffee right now. The little one was up at 5 or 5:15 this morning, and I took that feeding. So that was it for me this morning. I was up and going. So I did get to watch an episode of The Blacklist this morning, which was cool. I didn't mind that after she fell back asleep, but I'm a little tired this morning. So hats off to Scooters for being the only open coffee shop between here and my house that I was able to find on the way to the studio tonight.
I know we've been in talks with Scooters about bringing them to the Icebox. We have a couple of drink sponsors already, but yeah, the more the merrier. And if you're listening, for some reason, you're driving down and you're saying, yeah, I work for Scooters. I want to get in touch with the Lincoln Stars. Seriously, you can call us 402-464-5685. You can text us at that same number if you have a question for myself, Rocky, or producer Jake. Jake, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy Tuesday schedule to join us.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always good to catch up with what you guys are doing, and it sounds like things are going pretty well. So that's always that's good to hear. As a Lincoln fan, we've talked about before. I remember, I always regarded Lincoln Stars to be very cool because I grew up in the '90s, and it's quite a big deal, and it's always been very cool to go to those games. So it's excited to get some winning back as well.
Oh, yeah, it's always good. And you look at the magic number for the Lincoln Stars, we get right into it. It's down to 8, I believe. And Rocky, I know you guys came in the summer as a first-year coaching staff with yourself, George Lewis, Art Bry, and said, yeah, we're going to get back to winning. We're going to get back to the playoffs. You guys are close there already, and it's only March 15th. You looking at this first season so far as a success?
Yeah, I think you have to, right? We're in position to host at the very minimum a first-round playoff series. We still have a first-round bye very much in our sights. There's some work to take care of, obviously, between now and the end of the season to try to assure that. But we're happy with where the group is right now. We haven't peaked yet. We're looking forward to a lot of development through our last 15 games, which I know it doesn't seem like much, but it's just about a quarter of the season. So we've got a lot of opportunity left still ahead of us to continue to improve and put ourselves in good position standing wise moving into the playoffs.
And how much do you look at teams like Omaha, Tri-City, Sioux City, even Waterloo? Do you flip open your phone and say, oh, I wonder what they're doing tonight? Because usually they're playing on the same nights that we are, but you just say, dang it. Omaha won again. Dang it. Sioux City won again, because that's the way it's going to go. You guys are going to have to control your own destiny down the road.
Yeah. I mean, we check, obviously. I look at scores for all the leagues and just kind of see how everybody's doing. But, ultimately we can control what we can control. We felt like we gave one away last Friday, unfortunately. And that's going to happen. We're not perfect. I thought we outplayed them. And statistically, when you go back and you look at our analytical results from that game, we were clearly the better hockey team, but the scoreboard at the end of the game didn't show that. So, we just need to focus on what we can control, and that's 2 points against Des Moines on Friday night right now.
And you took 2 points away from the Des Moines Buccaneers on Saturday night, the following night after that 4-3 loss against the Omaha Lancers, and you moved up Mason Marcellus to that top line. You had USADO up there. You had a number of guys up there trying to figure out that role, and Mason has come up, a natural centerman, as you like to say, and he has come in seemingly And then Aiden Thompson, Lucas Wallin, they get back to doing their thing on Saturday. They each have 4 points. Thompson coming off a USHL Forward of the Week. Again, you have to be happy because you draw up these schemes and you put these lines together. You don't expect it to maybe work out that way right off the bat, scoring a couple first period goals from that line, but they get it done again.
Yeah, Mace has been up there now for 3 games, and I've kind of bounced around those wingers a little bit. Jiraki was with KO, and then Sato was with KO, and Mason's been now 3 games with Thompson and Wallin, and they've been really good together. So we're happy with the way that group is, and it gives us some more depth all the way down our lineup, and KO coming in has allowed us to have some flexibility with Mason. If we didn't acquire Killian Keeker Olson in that trade, then unfortunately we wouldn't have the flexibility to potentially move Mason to the wing and still have the depth that you need down the middle, and so we're happy about that. Obviously, Brennan Ali has come in. He's here through the end of the month. He goes to school at Avon Old Farms. So if we can get him on a little bit more of a consistent basis, then perhaps that brings us a different level of flexibility. Tanner Ludke's back now. He's obviously a center as well, but he's been playing Minnesota high school hockey all year. So it'll really be, a question of how quickly he can readjust to the USHL pace. Today was his first practice back, and so we've got some reinforcements. Unfortunately, Dashiell Oliver's injured. He was supposed to be coming back to us, and right now it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So we'll see if we want to potentially add a different affiliate player. But for the time being, we like what we have up front, and Carter Davis is here just getting some experience on the back end. I don't expect to really see him in the lineup, but we've got plenty of guys that are able to do more than one role up front, and Mason being an example of that.
If you want to go back for a second and talk about the unlimited affiliate process, there's probably some people listening, some people watching that said, hey, wait, the trade deadline went by, no more additions in terms of those. But then you just mentioned you get Carter Davis, you get Tanner Ludke, you have Brennan Ali in the lineup this past weekend. So if you don't mind, can you go through that process and how you guys were able to narrow down that short core of guys?
Yeah, I mean, so what we're able to do is we have a list of affiliate players, which includes 10 05 born players. Those are our guys that were selected in phase 1 draft last year, and then we've got another 6 or 8 combined 03 and 04 players that are available to us throughout the year. And then at the end of their season, we're allowed to have what we call unlimited affiliates. We're allowed to have 4 unlimited affiliates. And so those guys can play an unlimited amount of games after their season's completed. Prior to that, they're only allowed to play 10 games throughout the course of the season before they're capped with their affiliate games. So you also have to consider some of these guys are playing in other leagues that make them unavailable to us. Brett Moravik, for instance, is a Canadian player playing with the Penticton V's in the BCHL. He's playing junior hockey in Canada. He's not eligible to come and join us. We've got other guys that are still playing youth hockey. Wyatt Olson, for instance, plays for the Sioux Falls 16U AAA team. They're going to the national tournament. That national tournament's not for a few weeks. So by the time they're done, adding him may or may not make sense. Francois de Villiers is at Culver Academy. That's a prep school. He's not eligible to leave school full-time. Marion Moscow, he's not eligible to leave school full-time. Tyler Wishart, not available to leave school full-time. So we have a lot of players available to us, quote unquote, but based on where they're playing, they're not necessarily available to us. So we were able to add Tanner Ludke at the beginning of the year when he made the decision to go back to play high school. We have a bigger protected list, so we never actually moved him back to our affiliate list. He just sat on our protected list all year, so we don't have to use an affiliate spot on him. We've got Carter Davis, who played Minnesota high school hockey this year. He's going to finish the year online with his schooling and spend some time with us. Brennan Ali is, like I said, an Avon Old Farms prep school kid who currently is on spring break, so he's with us through the end of March. our hope is that he can spend some more time with us because he's a projected top 60 pick in this year's NHL draft. And so the more we get him exposure in the USHL down the stretch, the better it is for him. And he's obviously a very talented player, and we want him to get adjusted to playing at this level. And then, of course, Dashiell Oliver, that one's kind of crushing because Dashiell has been, a part of our team this year. He played, I think, 11 or 12 games before Christmas, was just really kind of getting his feet wet and playing really
good
well
at the end of that tenure too.
He did. And then he came back a couple weeks ago, and he had a goal and an assist in the 2 games that he was back for us. And unfortunately, he has a lower body injury that is more than likely going to end his season. So, and this just happened 24 hours ago. So, we're really bummed about that because I thought that Dash would be able to kind of get inserted in our lineup when he came back and be a guy that was able to not just be, reinforcements that were practicing with us, but somebody that was going to be able to jump in the lineup and make an impact.
You're listening to Outside the Box on 93.7 The Ticket. Call us, text us regarding Lincoln Stars hockey, maybe even the Batman. Me and Jake were talking about that before we jumped on. Maybe you guys have seen that. 402-464-5685. Rocky, when you look at those guys like Ludke, younger guys in the lineup down the road in years coming, you just cringe at the years. I know I do, and I'm a 96, but like when you see 2005, talking about 2006, I feel ancient.
You're a 96?
I'm a 96.
Okay, my first year coaching,
I know.
The 20-year-olds were 85s, and I'm an 82.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm now coaching 05s.
Crazy.
So, yeah, I feel old. I mean, I'm going to be 40 in 2 weeks. So I've gone through 20 years of birth years as a junior hockey coach. So, and we're going and I'm watching video today of 06s. My brother-in-law calls me a couple weeks ago and he's like, "Hey, the future camp that you're having." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Gavin, should I bring him out?" I'm like, "For what? To watch?" He's like, "Dude, he's old enough. My oldest nephew is an 09. And our future camp is 07s, 08s, and 09s." And I'm like, "No, he is not old enough. He is 6 years old still." And he's like, "Actually, he'll be 13 in a week or two." So, it goes by fast. It goes by really fast. And people say when you turn 40 that, that's a milestone birthday. All it's doing for me is just kind of giving me a chance to kind of reflect on so much great stuff in my life, so much bad stuff in my life, and everything in between. But you think about how fast the time goes, and then you have kids, and the time goes by even faster. And I feel like I just walked in here to Lincoln. I feel like it's July, and I had my first meeting in the business office, and then the first day of training camp, and our first radio show here in the 93.7 The Ticket radio booth. And so, the days go by quick, the weeks go by, especially when you coach or you work in sports, right? Your life kind of gets broken up into 1 week segments, and you have 4 days of practice and then 2 games and a day off, and all of a sudden it's like Groundhog Day again, and it starts over. And I don't know if people that work a normal 9-to-5 job feel that way, but I feel like time just rushes by.
I think, especially when you talk about not this weekend, but the following 2 weekends, they're both 3 games. So we're going to be working, 7 days a week, and we bought into this. It's not like we're complaining about the amount of work that we do.
No,
not at all. It's what we were prepared for, and it's why we're in it and devoted as much as possible. But that was a great point by you. It just seems like you blink and 3/4 of the season is done. We're talking about playoffs. For me, that's a new experience here in Lincoln. Me and my 3rd season. The first year, of course, the shortened pandemic season. And then last year was a shortened year to 56 games. But it's just, I look around and ask my friends, especially back home, all my friends back home and here, they're going on trips. They're going for spring break. And it gives you that little bit of FOMO where you're just like, man, if I was in anything else. But then that thought immediately evaporates because it's like, well, there's nothing else that I would be in.
No, I mean, I love coaching hockey, and I love that process we're speaking about. Although you get lost in it, like you're in a tumble cycle in a dryer, it also is so rewarding watching the guys develop and grow and building relationships with them. And I mean, you've had a you've had a front row seat for this group and watched as they've developed throughout the season. And there's guys that are, man, like Aiden Thompson has always been special, but boy, is he really taken off now. And you're watching, somebody like Mason too. Like George looked at me last weekend and then again today, and he's like, man, Mason is really good. And, is it because they're together, or is it because they're both kind of figuring it out? And, Thompson is hitting that next level that we knew was in there, and it was a matter of him figuring it out. And Mason is now completely comfortable playing at this level and really taking it to the next level. Like somebody like Lucas Wallin, who's the third member of that line, like you want to talk about just the coolest success story. Like he goes from playing high school hockey to playing tier 3 hockey to playing tier 2 hockey to as a 20-year-old playing in the USHL. And I mean, the kid's got to be close to a point a game or so at this point. And, I mean, if you would have told me that he was going to do what he's doing right now in training camp, I'd have been like, there's no way. Like I kind of pegged him as a hard-nosed third, maybe fourth line right winger. And he's just, like he's always done, proved everybody wrong.
And that's because of, hard work and practice and that devotion that we just talked about, but also what you guys said in the summer. There were expectations. And if you didn't meet them, well, you're not going to fit this group. And have you had situations in the past where maybe you had high expectations for certain players, and of course they can remain nameless, but then a couple weeks in, you're like, wow, this kid's nothing that I thought he was going to be.
Yeah, that actually, I had 3 or 4 guys on my team last year that, I mean, we just absolutely were like, this kid's going to be a stud this year. And watching their development from prior and everything else. And, sometimes kids top out. Sometimes the pressure really gets to them and they don't take the next step. Sometimes their priorities get a little out of whack. Sometimes we misjudge what they're capable of. And certainly, you want to see, and then maybe there's a little bit of emotional side to it where you just like a kid so much and you're like, this kid's going to pop. I know he's going to pop. I believe in him. And he just doesn't take that step. So it happens. Obviously, we don't bat 1,000 with our recruiting and our projections, but that's why it's a projection, because you just don't know. So, I knew that Lucas was a good hockey player. I didn't know that he was going to be as special as he is. I'm so proud of him for what he's been able to do. And I actually said to there was an NHL scout in our building on Saturday, and I said, if there's a kid on this list that you're not looking at that is going to play in the NHL, it's him. And he goes, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. He goes, he plays the right way. He's gonna be a sought after free agent when he leaves college. And I think he's going to have an excellent college career. He's going to a place where he's going to have an opportunity to play right away at St. Thomas. And he's going to just keep doing what he always does, which is affecting the game, scoring goals, being a difference maker physically. And when it's time for him to go, like, he's going to have NHL suitors for sure.
And he just works so hard, and whether it's, first on pucks, retrievals, back checking, first in the corner, in the defensive zone. He's taking sticks. He took a skate to the chin in Tri-City last week. I mean, there are so many moments where I'm like, oh no, Lucas Wallin, he's down. It's over. You know what I mean? And then pops right back up. Corey Courtney will help him out on the bench. He's right back for another shift.
Oh yeah, he's fearless, and he's certainly all about sacrificing for the team, and he's such a great kid too. Like we started our spring youth clinic today, and I'm out registering the players as they come in and handing out jerseys, and who's right next to me helping me do it is Lucas Wallin. Like he's one of those, he's just a good human being, and he's a kid that you genuinely just want to root for, because he does things the right way, and he's got no ego. He's all about his teammates and doing everything he can to get better.
And he also had 4 points on Paw Patrol night, which isn't bad either. A goal and 3 assists. Jake, did you see those jerseys that we wore on Saturday? We may have to get a picture.
No, yeah, I got to look at them.
Did you
I'm
ever
a
see
big
the
jersey
show
guy.
Paw Patrol on Nickelodeon?
Yeah, I know a little bit about it.
Well, we had an outstanding jersey auction. I don't know if you were able to stick around for that. You know, you had a lot of family in the building on Saturday, but oh my gosh, what a great reception we had supporting Lincoln Ice Hockey Association. The jerseys, I was very skeptical in the beginning. Number one, how they were going to look. Number two, how they were going to sell. Boy, they delivered on both fronts there.
I thought they were really cool. In fact, my brother-in-law texted me and told me how cool he thought they were. And, you know, I was able to get my hands on one for Ronnie, my daughter, who is quickly become a huge Paw Patrol fan. And I don't know, it actually all just happened in like the last couple weeks. But it couldn't have been better timing that these jerseys were coming, because she's now officially a diehard Paw Patrol fan. My nephews are, and I know that the reception for the kids was awesome. They were really excited to have them. And we obviously raised a ton of money going towards the Lincoln Ice Hockey Association for benefiting our youth program here. And that's always what we're trying to do. We want to give back to that program as much as we can. That's why we're hosting this clinic this week. It's just another opportunity for us to integrate our organization with their program and show them how important they are to us.
So do you have a favorite Paw Patrol character? I don't know what they're called exactly.
Well, one of them's name's Rocky.
Oh, really?
So
we should have done. Look, you should have told me that earlier. We'd be doing so much promo.
One of them's name is Rocky. Ronnie loves Sky. There's a girl and Rebel. She also likes him. But there's a new special coming out, and there's a new dog on Paw Patrol for the special, and this dog is a dachshund. And I had a dachshund when I was in Amarillo. So I have a feeling I'm going to be a little bit partial to the new character that is coming in the Paw Patrol special on March 25th. That is circled on the calendar in our house because my daughter can't wait.
And March 18th has to be circled too if you're a dog fan in Lincoln, because it's Pucks and Paws night. You get to bring your dogs out to the game. Again, we have this all the time. We canceled it 2 years ago, had it last year. It was awesome, but we only had 1,200 people in the building because of the cap that we had. We're hoping for way more attendance, way more dogs. And you're probably going to be on the bench, and you're just going to hear some barking while you're trying to, dictate and drop a play.
I can't hear anything in that building anyways. It doesn't matter. So, the barking will be refreshing over the very, very loud microphone.
We need a Tylenol sponsor.
Ibuprofen sponsor for Coach Russo, because Corey feeds me those like Pez dispensers on the bench. I have about 4 of them every game because my head's just pounding.
And I want to go back to what we were just talking about, really, the schedule and the rigorous, work that we do. How do you stay refreshed? You've got 2 kids at home, you have a wife at home, because it's not a question you probably get asked, at least in, work circles, because everybody's just go, 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 but you have to be able to take that time and turn it off. I don't care how devoted you are. You can easily just burn yourself out if you're just hockey 24/7.
I've as I've gotten older, managed to find a way to shut it off a little bit. When I was younger, I couldn't. I literally 24/7. When I first started dating my wife, I remember her telling me, like, I was yelling at her while I was sleeping, coaching her. And she's like, you were literally telling me to pick my guy up in the D zone and to back pressure when you were sleeping last night. And at that point, I'm like, I need help. Like this is a little much. But I'd been single for a long time, and there was nothing else that really mattered.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I lived away from my family, so I was away from home across the country. Like I was there for a reason, and it was to coach, and that was it. And my wife put so much perspective in my life. I remember we got eliminated from the playoffs the first year that we were dating, and she's like, you stopped snoring tonight. You stopped screaming at me. Like, it was like a weight was lifted off your chest while you slept. And she's like, now as we've gotten older and the kids put so much perspective in my life, my wife put so much perspective in my life, that I'm still incredibly passionate about what I do, but I don't judge myself on my results anymore. I used to, like, my self-worth revolved around winning and losing hockey games, which is not healthy. And now, as I've gotten older, I met a really good friend in Amarillo who's a field representative for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. He did such a great job of helping me get through tough times, losing my dad, losing my sister, helping me get this stuff into perspective. And now it's about serving my players and doing what I can to help them become better people and better players, and building the foundation for a great culture, serving our community. And obviously the success on the ice goes hand in hand with all of those things. So, if you trust your process and you have good habits and you do things the right way, all the things you hear me say all the time, you end up getting those results as well. But I don't have to be a results driven person anymore. I can be a process driven person and feel a lot better about myself at the end of the night. And it's much more rewarding that way too, quite frankly, because you're not hanging on every win and every loss. It's more about what you're doing long term to really sustain and grow something.
Is there a secret when it comes to, with your wife at home, dealing with all of that? You obviously had to learn, like everybody does. Nobody's perfect from day one, but is there something you've zeroed in on and said, you know what, this is how we can make it work and how I've gotten better?
No, you know what the biggest thing is when you find somebody, something that you care about more than yourself. That certainly changes things. And my wife and my kids, like, there's nothing more in my life than I care about, and I would quit coaching hockey tomorrow if that's what they wanted me to do. But my wife knows that I love it, and I'm pretty good at it, and I think she enjoys kind of the whole, I don't call it my career, I call it our career, because she's making a massive sacrifice. She stepped away from working and now is a stay-at-home mom, which is a 10 times harder job than my job is. But, she stepped away from her career to let me pursue this. And so, our success from a team perspective and an organizational perspective is just as much attributed to her as it is to me. And so, I think that really helps you keep things in perspective.
What was her interest level in hockey when she met you?
She was covering one of my games.
Oh, really? That's
as
cool.
She's an athletic trainer, and she was a college hockey player. So she's had a high hockey interest level. She had worked at a high school for a number of years, and covered multiple sports, working at a private school in New Jersey, and then kind of started to cover a local high school and do some per diem work for the Philadelphia Junior Flyers organization and the Little Flyers organization. And our full-time athletic trainer had a wedding in England when he asked her to cover. And so that's the first time she and I met. And I actually had a player get a concussion that game. And so we ended up having to communicate after the game because my trainer was going to be gone.
Did you give him the concussion days. Or it was natural?
I didn't. Okay. I would have.
I didn't know
Going
if that
back
was
to
your
it, I
first
would have.
move. Yeah.
No, I would have. But no, that was an unfortunate side effect of her covering the game. But yeah, I mean, she played college hockey at Newman University, Division III hockey, and she's a big Flyer fan. I'm a big Penguins fan. That's bit of a point of contention in our house for her. Not for me, because I've witnessed 5 Stanley Cups in my lifetime and she's witnessed 0. So I don't really consider it a competition, but she, God love her, she's a Flyers fan, and I appreciate that.
It's got to be hard, though, if it's not someone that's into hockey, in your opinion, yes or no? Because in my opinion, I've been on both sides of the coin. I'm with someone right now who doesn't enjoy hockey. She loves coming to games, loves coming to Stars games and having fun with her friends. But what do you think? Do you think there's a direct answer there? I
think, and I was actually married once before. I got married far too young, but I got married to somebody that wasn't interested in what I was trying to accomplish with my career. And, I think whether you're a coach, whether it's hockey, football, baseball, whatever it is, or you're in your field, like this is a unique commitment. It's not a traditional 9 to 5. There's give and take. Obviously, I get out of the office at a decent time, but then I have stuff like this at night, and I've got extra
calls
work
at
and
11
yeah,
and midnight.
and so you need somebody that understands it, and somebody that supports it, and somebody that sees the passion that you have for it. And if they do, then you've got the right person. But if you don't have the right support staff when you try to go into a profession like this, it's going to kill you, because you're going to be constantly torn between two separate worlds, and you're not going to be given 100% to either one of them, and that's ultimately going to lead to failure.
I think that's the biggest thing, like to be able to not, I was going to say a word that you probably can't say, but to go fully in on both parties. It's really important to take time for yourself too, because like you said, there are good times in life, bad times in life, and you have to be able to have that perspective. And whether it's age, whether it's experience, I think you just gain that and have a better understanding of how the world works, and more importantly, how other people act too, because you don't know what anybody else is going through on a day-to-day basis, and that's why you kind of got to just live your life with respect for everybody too.
We tell our players, just be kind.
Yeah.
Just be kind to the people around you, and I take pride in just as much trying to make them better hockey players. More importantly, continue their development as far as people and their character and their growth. We want they're all good kids. They come from good families. Their parents have done a good job. But if we can continue them on that path, and they walk out of here as somebody that's going to be a great student athlete at the school they eventually attend, and a fully functioning human being in the world, I consider that a success.
We'll be joined by Tanner Ludke and Henry Nelson when we come back on Outside the Box.
Every time the back door closes, it squeaks and reminds me of how I used to go out back for a cigarette 2-3 times a day, when I was stressed, when I was hungry, when I was bored. But then I think of how the stale taste lingered in my mouth, and I reach into my purse and pop a stick of gum, and the craving is gone.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Water heater gone? Call Bryant. The price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. And in most cases, same-day replacement. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111.
Old School with DP and J.
I learned this about the difference between the college game and the NFL. Every play is designed offensively and defensively for one guy to make a mistake, whether it's being out of your gap, forgetting the blitz, forgetting a check on offense, forgetting the snap count. In college, it might be explosive play, 15 yards, whatever you deem as explosive play. The pros,
all of them are house.
All of them are. The guy will hit his head on the goalpost.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete.
Sun Valley Lanes and Games is now offering spring sand volleyball leagues. Sand volleyball leagues are 9 weeks long beginning April 3rd. Registration's available online at sunvalleylanes.com. Use the promo code 93.7 to save 5%. That's sunvalleylanes.com, promo code 93.7. Volleyball not your thing? They also offer fun cornhole and bowling leagues. Visit sunvalleylanes.com for complete details.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete. Sun Valley.
2022 is all about staying well. And guess what? There are lots of easy ways to take care of your mental and physical health every day, like eating right and exercising, taking vitamins, drinking water, scheduling those annual doctor's visits, or just resting. That's right, even a quick nap counts. Because let's be honest, these days we could all use a little more wellness in our lives. So stay well, Nebraska. For more ways you can stay healthy, visit staywellnebraska.com.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station. Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Stars broadcaster Cristiano Simonetta. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back outside the box on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Cristiano Simonetta, joined alongside by Stars head coach Rocky Russo, and we're very excited to mention our good friends at Imperium Brewing Company, who are excited to offer local beer choices at Stars games this year, which includes Lincoln's Imperium Brewing Company. Their new beer, Sunslinger Extra Pale Ale, is a wheat-centered ale that is low on calories and carbs. It's also surprisingly flavorful with lemon highlights for a refreshing, easy-drinking beer. Enjoy other beers from Imperium like their award-winning Long Route Peanut Butter Porter, Mind Over Mango IPA, and Goal Line Amber Ale, sold only and exclusively at the Icebox. Cheers, and let's go Stars. Rocky, we are joined by two guests, Tanner Ludke, Henry Nelson. Tanner, Henry, what's going on, guys?
Nothing much. How are you?
Doing good. Henry?
Good. How's it going?
Very good. Tanner, welcome back. Welcome to Lincoln.
Thank you.
Has Nelly and Mastro, already gotten you into a couple fights at home, or are you guys okay right now?
No, it's been pretty good lately. I'm trying to think. Yeah, no, me and Nelly hung out outside today at home after. It was a pretty nice day out, so it's been good though. Fun to be back. Excited.
Are you a golfer?
Little bit.
Okay, because Nelly's upset because, of course, he's got an upper body injury right now, and he's an excellent golfer, and he's unable to hit the links.
He thinks he's an excellent golfer.
Oh, come on. Look, you've never seen this kid golf. You could just Google him and YouTube him. That's the scary part. I always thought, okay, he's an okay golfer, and then I looked, oh, okay, wait, never mind. He's
so our GM asked me today, actually, ironically, he said, who is the best athlete
all around
on the team, the best all-around athlete on the team? So I'm going to ask these guys who they think. Nelly, who is the best all-around athlete on the team?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't know. I mean, I played golf with Tom's a little bit. He's pretty good at golf.
You can't give Tom's that.
I'm sure Tom's is athletic. Obviously, he sprained his ankle playing basketball earlier, so we're going to take him off that list. Mastro doesn't look like he could catch or throw, so
no, he can't.
We can take him off that list.
Jeez, that is a tough question. I would have to go with myself.
Okay, it's honesty.
Okay,
Tanner.
Did you play baseball, Nelly?
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
center fielder. Had an unbelievable arm.
Moved to right.
Almost as good as mine was.
I'll go with maybe
it's a tough question.
Yeah, Joel. I can't even say LeMay.
Joel LeMay?
I don't know. Maybe LeMay.
Put a basketball in his
No,
hands.
that guy can't play basketball.
Yeah,
football.
not LeMay.
He's probably got good strength of football. You wouldn't want to tackle a guy like
Joe's very aggressive.
Yeah.
Joe's very aggressive. So, I will tell you who I told Nick I thought was probably the best athlete. Henry Nelson.
Wow, thank you.
Not because he's on the show.
Not at all because he's on the show, because the last thing I want to do is toot his horn. So, but I did know that he played baseball. I knew he was a good golfer. Obviously, he's a hockey player, and so that well-rounded athleticism with guys, so many guys now are one-dimensional in regards to specializing in hockey early on in their careers, and so the guys that played multiple sports are the ones that have a better shot at doing that. And so I was kind of trying to go around the room. I know Antonio Fernandez is a really good athlete. He's he's a surfer and was a swimmer, and I don't know if Tony can hit a baseball or hit a golf ball. I think part of that is being well-rounded, but he's certainly extremely athletic. So, but we were more talking about sports as opposed to just pure athleticism. So when, you want to talk about pure athleticism, Caden Aberco's in that conversation. Obviously, Tom's then is in that conversation, but, all of them are athletes, but, again, I just, for some reason, I don't see Mastro. Like, I think I'd throw the football at him and hit him in the nose. So I'm going to have to find out. I'm going to bring a football to practice.
Tanner, you just came from high school in Lakeville, Minnesota. Did you play any other sports before you soloed in on hockey?
I played a little bit of football growing up.
What position?
Running back and D end.
Not the punter.
No. I love D end though. It was fun.
Okay. I can't see him as a D end.
I played outside linebacker and defensive tackle until I was just far too small to be a defensive tackle. But my freshman year, I played nose guard, and literally nobody could tack or could block me. Yeah. So I was in the backfield every single play. So I could see Tanner being a defensive
You gotta have that
end.
aggression, and Tanner's too nice of a guy. He's gone through 11 USHL games. I think, like on the ice, whether it's in high school or in the USHL, have you maybe dished out some trash talk, or maybe gotten some back that kind of you were like, wow, okay.
Yeah, it's actually funny. I back home this year, I played Nellie's brother, and we got in a little scrap at the end of it. He's a big kid though, so
I do have a video of that if you want to see.
And Nelly was watching his brother. He was cutting video tremendously. I'm going to preface this during a game over the weekend, but he's got the phone right here. And I'm like, what's going on over here? And he's got his brother playing in the state championship in Minnesota. He's got another brother playing in Pee-wees. What is it with you guys in Minnesota hockey players? Are you just born and then the umbilical cord is cut by a skate? Like, how does everybody just get into hockey around there? And why do you think it's become so prolific?
I think it's just like with skating outdoors, there's a lot of outdoor rinks, backyard rinks, and things like that. I know growing up, I did that a lot with my brothers and my buddies back home. And I think high school is so big back in Minnesota because the community that people come and watch you. Like, I know my sophomore year, there's a bunch of people that came watched in our home rink, but then my junior and senior got affected by COVID, which kind of stopped with all the fans coming. But my junior year in the state tournament, there's 18,000 people there, and it was crazy. But unfortunately, my senior year, there's only like 4,000, which were allowed in. But it was, I think, just the community behind that team. And I know that more people are watching even on the TV because I got so many texts and things like that. And it's just huge in Minnesota for that reason.
Yeah, we were watching the first overtime period in our video room after a game on Saturday, and I had to find out who won. I didn't bother to look after I got home, but I heard that Andover came out on top. Obviously, that's always a heartbreaker for a kid. I've as a coach and a few times as a player back when I was younger, but as a coach, I've been on the wrong end of a championship game, and those are tough to swallow. As much fun as it is to find your way there, it takes a few days to be able to put it in perspective of what a cool experience it was, even if you didn't find a way to win.
And it's a perfect segue into our Great Clips question of the week, which was, how many points did Tanner Ludke have this season with Lakeville South High School in Minnesota? We have a winner. Tanner, how many points?
61.
61 is the correct answer, and Jonathan Hallstrom has just won 4 tickets to Friday's Pucks and Paws game. Jonathan, we will be reaching out to you shortly. You've just won 4 tickets to Friday's game against Des Moines. How closely were you following Tanner's season? Because obviously, whether it ended or whether he won it all, he was most likely going to come back here in a big role.
Yeah, we were, we're following all of our affiliate players and just kind of checking in every week or 2 weeks and seeing how things are going and sending the occasional text or having a call, whether it be from me or one of our coaches, just, letting them know that we're keeping track of them. And some guys will, some of these guys are joining us right now. Some of these guys will make the team next year. There's guys on that list that won't play here for 2 years. So, it's really important that we maintain that relationship moving forward because, there's other leagues still trying to recruit those kids, and that's what I think people don't necessarily understand. Obviously, there are property technically within the USHL, but there's other avenues for these kids to go. Certainly, no league as good as the United States Hockey League, but that doesn't necessarily stop a team in Canada from trying to pursue them, or a North American Hockey League team from trying to pursue them. And for us, sometimes it's good. You get a kid that is a year away from us that can spend a year grooming and getting his feet wet playing junior hockey in the North American League or the BCHL. I think it's a great thing before they ultimately become a part of our organization.
Tanner, Rocky usually likes to ask the guys what's their favorite part of Lincoln. I'll take this for him tonight. So what has been, I know you've only been here for 11 games. You were here for camp, but is there anything that sticks out in Lincoln, Nebraska, a place, had you ever been before you were a Lincoln Star?
I've never been to Lincoln before. Obviously, being committed to Omaha, I was down there, and I like it a lot down there, but I think it's just kind of the guys and the culture. I think, my brother being at Sioux City last year, and, I don't think there's always great guys everywhere. Not saying there weren't great down there, but the guys are so special here. And, just coming back down today and everyone giving me a hug and things like that, just being back with them is probably my favorite part.
So you just asked me how much we were following Tanner. I'm curious how much Tanner was following us.
That's a great question.
Because I'm wondering how much Razin was going back and forth between Tanner and his brother, because the Lincoln Stars are 6-1 against the Sioux City Musketeers this year.
I know. I love it too. they get up to play for the Stars, and I remember we were actually talking about it. I think you guys got a sweep against them. So
yes.
They were preparing like the whole week, and then just 0-2 right after
that. Home and home, if I
yeah.
So no, I love it.
Like, that's just got to be crazy, because obviously it's not too insane to have a brother on an opposite team or the same team in the league. But I mean, Sioux City's right in front of us. Could be a possible playoff matchup, and it could be, the Ludke show come late April and throughout the rest of the season here.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Obviously, Tanner's older brother is playing a big role for them. I think he wears a letter for him. He's one of their top 4D, and Tanner cut his teeth with us at the beginning of the year, and he's going to be able to continue to get his feet wet a little bit here in the second half of this season, and then obviously be a huge part of our team for the next 2 years before he goes to college. So, mom and dad get to see us play against Sioux City a couple more times in the regular season and potentially in the playoffs. And I'm sure that's a pretty cool experience for his parents.
So Henry, is Danny, what's the projection on him? What's his story? Is he coming to the USHL? You don't have to say
we don't
anything.
care. He's Green Bay property. Who cares?
Okay.
Move along.
Yeah. That's
Green
true.
Bay
Forget
property.
about it.
Now, if
Never
Green
mind.
Bay wants to talk about a trade, then we'll have a conversation.
Is it 7th round? What round?
Second.
Yeah. Shows how much I know in the draft and when it's not Lincoln. But no, that's cool. That's, again, got to be like a dream come true for you guys to have careers side by side one another, and then your youngest brother too playing Pee Wee.
Yeah, for sure. It's really cool watching those two grow as hockey players and trying to follow my path, but they're trying to create their own as well. So it's pretty cool.
And Rocky, what about your siblings? When you were growing up, was there a similar dynamic going on in the house?
Now I've got all sisters.
But still, there can still be competitive advantages and disadvantages there.
No, I've got twin sisters, and then I've got another one that's 11 months younger than them, and they're a few years younger than me. And we were tight, and I used to make the little one wear goalie gear and just rip pucks at her when she was like 7.
That was my role in my household. Tough.
And so she was the only one that ever actually played any hockey because I toughened her up. And then now her daughter plays. She's 10. She plays, but the twins, they were softball players and cheerleaders, and never really had a whole lot of interest in hockey. But I was a baseball player, so we got out and we did a lot of that stuff in the backyard, which was cool. And my dad, God love him, I think he tore his rotator cuff hitting pop flies to me when he was younger, because that's all I ever wanted to do in the summer was play baseball, and that's why I had an arm that was better than Henry's, because we had a very, very big front yard, and I got used to throwing the ball from one end of the front yard to the other, which is why I was an all-conference center fielder.
Well, maybe after we win the Clark Cup late May, we go to Haymarket Park where the Salt Dogs play, have some BP, have some outfield drills. You and Nelly can really duke it out to see who still has it.
Like no joke, my glove is in my car right now.
I'd love
So
to go to that.
I
field
am
and,
I am
get
absolutely
some
ready.
bombs.
Have you been to a Salt Dogs game? Probably not.
No,
'cause
the
it was
timing didn't
June.
work
Yeah,
last
exactly.
year.
They're fun.
They were playing during training camp, and I was outside. That was as close as I got because we had training camp at Breslow. But I'll make sure Corey snags me some tickets to get over and watch a game this summer.
Hey, I know you should work on that. Get that field rented
No,
out.
I've been trying to get like a softball game or anything
Good.
like that with the people in Lincoln to come out with the Stars. I think it'd be outstanding. So
It'll be fun.
I have to get that solidified. But well, while we're on that topic, are you guys watching now basketball, March Madness? Is that going on in the household? You guys any?
You guys both have brackets in the
Exactly.
team bracket.
We do.
We filled them out today.
Yep. I'm excited for that. It should be fun. It's always fun watching March Madness, and I'm excited for it.
Rapid fire, really quick. Who's your team to win?
I think I picked Gonzaga.
I did Zags too.
Well,
yeah.
Rocky, what about you?
I went with my heart on this one, and I picked the Duke Blue Devils.
Wow.
Oh.
Any reason?
Because I have such incredible respect for Coach K, and I know he's going out, and what a perfect ending. And if anybody can find a way to get that ending, it's him. So
I went a little more with my heart. I picked Illinois, who was a 4 seed in the South. Hopefully, they got bounced by Indiana in the Big Ten tournament. But Nebraska in the tournament this year, or no? That's sorry,
they're not very good.
You know what though? If I
my
recall, at the beginning of the year, DP was telling us how good they were going to be, right? And there was high expectations. They got a former NBA coach as their head coach, right? Fred Hoiberg. Like,
no comment as a Chicago Bulls fan, but
yeah, he was. I mean, like, don't you think that all I heard was high end, and I admittedly I didn't follow along, so I'm certainly the last person that has any right to put my 2 cents in. But I was kind of hoping there was going to be a pretty awesome season there to follow, and that's it. It kind of didn't come to fruition.
they had a big ending to the year too. I know Jake is probably beaten that horse dead, but they were able to kind of rescue Fred's season because there were talks of him being moved. But college basketball always a fun time. Are you going to see it on in the room?
Oh yeah, I mean we've got the big 65-inch TV in there. In fact, I got to get the Hulu hooked up in there tomorrow morning so the guys can have some a little bit more activity. In fact, if one of you guys remind me in the morning, I'll get that up for you. So, no, I expect the guys will be watching some games, and that's why I always find it fun to have the bracket for the guys because they can get after each other a little bit and make it a little competitive, which is cool.
Is there bragging rights, like maybe no conditioning on a day? If you
No, we're always going to condition, but there will be some prizes for the top three winners of the team bracket this year. So I didn't tell them what those prizes will be, but I'll be coming up with something cool for those.
And there's still March Madness going on in the USHL, guys. We have a huge schedule upcoming. Me and Rocky talked about it in the first segment. Omaha, Sioux City, all those teams with Waterloo. I mean, every team in the Western Conference is tough to beat, and can't take any of those teams for granted. But how excited are for you guys to rip through that period of time and play some playoff hockey if all things go well?
Yeah, I'm excited. I've heard, the crowd's amazing in Lincoln, and I can only imagine what it's going to be like in playoffs. And I'm super excited. We got a great team, and I think we're going to make a deep run here, so it'll be fun.
And your debut was tough because it was 6 games at the end of a year that was on the losing side of it.
Yeah.
And now you have this perspective of, okay, I know what it's like to miss the playoffs with a chance of possibly clinch. Does it, wake you guys up a little easier?
Yeah, for sure. It's pretty cool, and I don't think Lincoln's been in the playoffs for a good amount of time here, so I think the fans are ready for a good year, and I think we're all excited to give that to them.
And Tanner, as disappointing as it was to lose in high school, when you jump into now some high energy hockey right in the playoffs where you got to be ready, you can't have that biggest amount of rust because this is a game where Lincoln's going to be firing on all cylinders. Guys have been bought in all year long, and you're trying to slide in. Is that a tough transition period for you? I know you're prepared for it mentally, but it's got to be something that comes into the back of your mind as, okay, I've got to, truly buy in.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think the way my year ended, it kind of, some guys would be stuck on it, and obviously it wasn't how I wanted to go at the end there, but, I'm here now and my focus is here and with the team, and You know, I'm just pumped up to be along the ride. And, you know, like Nelly said, the crowd's here amazing, but everything just steps up notches in the playoffs. So it should be a lot of fun.
Do you coach differently in the playoffs, Rocky? You've been there plenty and plenty of times. I know we're not there yet, but is there anything you change or switch up?
Yeah, I've made mistakes before that I changed things I shouldn't have changed. I won't change a whole lot moving forward. I've overcoached in the playoffs in the past, and I've learned from those mistakes. So we're gonna live with our identity, and the success we had in the playoffs will be in the regular season from what we do will be the success we have in the playoffs.
And who knows, next Tuesday we may be talking about the Lincoln Stars with a chance to clinch the playoffs. Pretty fun.
Looking forward to it.
Tanner, Henry, thank you so much for joining the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Rocky, thanks as always.
Thank you.
Jake, thank you. We'll be back next Tuesday, 8 p.m. You are listening to Outside the Box on 93.7 The Ticket.